So my first sentence is, when I agreed to answer the question, what do you need, I didn't realize how difficult it would be. Luckily, the church provided some background to the question, and it was on some of the slides earlier this morning. Everyone has needs: physical touch, words of affirmation, quality time, gifts, acts of service. But each of us needs different things at different times. And as a way of framing the question, one of the ways was name a time when you have experienced these types of connections. I identified with the idea of different seasons of needing. Now, many of you here realize that I am not a hugger. But clearly, as a youngster, I loved to have contact with my family and friends. I did love to be hugged, holding hands. At my age, I don't so much worry about being supported by other people's opinion. But as a teenager and a young adult, and particularly as a lesbian coming out, I needed affirmation. But what do I need now? This whole exercise is to help us to get to know each other. And oftentimes learning about a person's family helps to get to know the person. I think of my mother as my primary parent, and she certainly cared for me and taught me and challenged me. My father was a serious man, a quiet man, and a hard worker. Most of the time that I was growing up, he worked in a factory on the second shift and usually had other jobs. Except for weekends, I didn't see him very much. And if you asked me about my relationship, I would say that he was distant. But as I got older, I realized how much he prepared me for life. He came from a family of farmers, and he loved to garden. He was a mechanic and a handyman and did most of the repairs around the house. Although I was probably a pesky child, he took the time to let me help him in the garden and let me watch him fixing pipes or doing carpentry. I now love to garden, and most of my way of taking care of plants is based on his example. I putter a bit in my house and do minor repairs, relying on the confidence that he showed me. He was the person that taught me righty-tighty and lefty-loosey. His gift to me was quality time. And that best defines what I need today. People who can share their knowledge, skills, interests, people who expand my experiences, who trigger my curiosity, who surround me with lightness and laughter, and when I'm hurt or confused, people who, like Job's friends in the reading today, are willing to sit quietly with me. The image of filling a reservoir resonates with me. You know, this summer out west, many of the reservoirs were drying up, and it was a frightening tragedy. Judy Brown has a poem which is called A Reservoir Within. Each of us needs a reservoir within, because life doesn't happen on the average. It has hurricanes and droughts and lovely days, and so joy and also despair. So my answer is that my needs include having relationships that can fill my reservoir within.